Um, Hello and welcome to our Friday webinar. And today we will be talking about the HAP products. My name is Christy Strauss and I'm the Broker Sales Director at IED. And we have Kyle Ingraham of HAP that will be providing us with some highlights of the 2022 HAP plans. So we've had a nice relationship with HAP now for 3 years and just continue to grow with our agents and our agent distribution that these folks are just really excited about the plan, and it seems like every year HAP does such a great job of improving the plan, adding more benefits, and so we're really excited just again to get some of those highlights about the plan and why folks should probably be offering HAP to their clients and when that might be a good fit. So Kyle, thank you so much for taking time and presenting to us. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it from here.
Awesome. Well, first, thank you very much, Christy, for having us today on the webinar. Thank you to everybody both on here live with us today and those of you that are maybe streaming this at a later date. I know IED does a great job with providing materials for all of you. So thank you very much, Christy, and the whole team there for providing us this opportunity. Second of all, thank you to all you agents out there for all you do for our members and your clients every single day. I was, for those of you who may or may not know me from my prior life, I was an agent and broker too for 8 years, spanning all sorts of different types of insurance. Worked for another company for 1.5 years, and then just got the opportunity to come over to HAP about a month ago, and couldn't be more excited to be working with a company of this caliber and partnering with all of our great FMOs here locally and you agents right here on the street too. So the reason for today that we're getting together is kind of why HAP this AEP. Lots of really exciting things. Not going to do deep dives into all the plans today. I don't want to bore you with that. I'm sure you've already done webinars and face-to-face and 1,000 certifications at this point, but I really just want to tell you the main selling features of HAP and why it's a good idea for your members. See if I get my technology working with me here. There we go. All right, so first, why HAP? We're a nonprofit. That means that we don't have to appease shareholders. We're not worried about what the bottom line is going to be. Everything we get gets reinvested back into our plans. As well as star ratings that allows us to, further invest into the plans for our members right here. Obviously, we're integrated, especially with the Henry Ford Health System. What does that do for our members? Really, it allows us key access to the providers, actually working with members on a day-to-day basis, seeing what it is in the services that they need, what services are they lacking, why are they stopping getting certain services done, and then we can manipulate our plans every year to make sure that they're fitting what the members are actually needing in the current world and environment. We're a local company, so as you'd expect with regional, we're right here in Michigan. We're 98% of our employees live and work in the Michigan area. Not only does that mean that when you call into member services or you reach out to one of us, that we're going to be right here local and able to meet you quickly, or just for our members to talk to somebody who talks just like them and not, to a call center down south or overseas. It's a huge benefit for our members. It also means that, hey, we're here, we're getting paid here, and we're investing everything we get paid right back into the local economy. So we really are focused on being here for our Michigan communities. The last thing I'm going to touch on this slide is dependability. Listen, it's one of the major things that you need from an insurance carrier. You want somebody who's going to be dependable for you. And the way that companies figure out what their dependability is or referability level is to their members or customers, regardless of what industry in, it's called a Net Promoter Score. So that's something that involves outbound calls to people who've utilized customer service or other services within HAP, and basically a scoring rank to see how likely they are to refer based on their experience. Few key numbers to put in that: insurance industry as a whole. So that's including property and casualty, Medicare, life insurance, all of that stuff. That typically has a benchmark score of a 28. All right. And to give you a point of reference, Amazon, who's known for phenomenal customer service, Theirs is somewhere in the high 70s. So that tells you right there, people don't think very highly of insurance carriers. If we break that down to a more granular level, so Medicare here in Michigan, the benchmark, the average for the carriers right here is a 36. So a little bit better than the insurance industry as a whole. Kudos to all the other carriers for doing better than what the standard insurance industry level is. But what we're really proud of at HAP, our score is a 62. So what does that mean for you and for your members? That means your members are more likely to stay with HAP. They're more likely to utilize the services that they have because they are having a good experience while working with HAP. And for you as the agent, it means referrals. It means your members are happy, they're staying with their carriers, and they're referring you to their friends and family because you put them with a plan that they're extremely happy with. That's something that you're not going to see some of my counterparts with other carriers talking about. I promise you, they know their score. They're not going to talk about it because they just can't come close to a 62 and the happiness level that members have with us. Our service area here in Michigan. It's obviously important to know why to sell HAP and where you can sell it. As you can see, outlined on the slide are all of the counties that we have current plans in. The orange color has our full HMO and PPO line of products. We are proud to announce that right now in the 30 county service area, we have every single hospital in our network. So there used to be some gaps, especially in the Lansing area and a few other areas. We have closed all of those going into 2022, and every hospital in that orange territory is going to have every hospital there. In the teal kind of color there are West Michigan plans that has a specific plan tailored towards the FEMA network and Mercy Hospital. And then the magenta color at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, that's going to have our 015 plan there. You'll see the little black outline area that has our primary choice. So that is a narrower PCP network. And then, of course, we have our DSNP available in Macomb, Oakland, Wayne, and Genesee counties. So real quick, and again, I'm not going to go through every line item in here. I want to put the real highlights for you. And I'm going to spend the most time probably on the 015 highlights because they carry over to most of our other plans. And like I said, you've already gone through this a few times, but this is our #1 selling plan. Some of the key highlights on here, on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see we have our visitor/travel benefit included in this. We did some research. We realized about 80% or a little above of Michiganders that go out of state in the wintertime. They want to get out of the snow. They're the quote-unquote snowbirds. They're going to Arizona, Florida, and Texas. So we've included those into these plans that they can see any Medicare provider that's willing to bill HAP in those states at an in-network cost share. So a huge benefit, kind of takes away if they're going to those areas. They've always traditionally been looking at PPOs because they need that out-of-network, out-of-state network. They can actually utilize this HMO plan with in-network benefits in those states. We, of course, have our embedded vision, hearing, fitness, and OTC benefits, which we'll touch on a little bit later. New for this year, we embedded $1,000 in dental coverage. I'm going to talk about this a little bit further on, but just know that is a huge thing that's embedded into all of our plans this year. It utilizes the Delta Dental, PPO, and Premier network. So we're talking an expansive dental network. No more worrying about whether or not you can find somebody who's in network or is their dentist there. Chances are they fall into that Premier or PPO network. Then, of course, we have our $0 Tier 1 and Tier 2 90-day mail order through preferred pharmacies for $0 copay. And then Tier 6 of vaccines at a $0 copay. So the vaccines that you receive on those, for example, Hep A and B, measles, shingle vaccines, all of those, if you get those done at one of our covered pharmacies, it's a $0 copay. And of course, for an HMO, no referrals are required on this plan. Just a few main things I want to hit on for cost share. Obviously, max out-of-pocket's in line with what you see in the market these days. Inpatient hospitals, they're in line. But really where we start to separate ourselves is outpatient procedures. So you'll see a split cost share this year of $275 or $145. A lot of people are asking, well, how do we get that $145? Those are for services that are being received at an ambulatory surgical center, so an ASC. We have about 77 of those in our network. We're noticing about 60% of procedures, so cataract surgeries, and they're even starting to do joint replacements at these ASC centers for just a $145 cost share. So if you're not talking to members about ASC and a way to be a cost share protection for them, please bring this plan up to them because it is a huge way for them to save. The other thing I'm going to touch on, PTO, T, and ST. We talked to, of course, being integrated with Henry Ford and a few other providers, we were able to talk to the physical therapist and we're like, hey, listen, why aren't people finishing their physical therapy? We're noticing on our books, people keep having to go back for the same surgery a few years later. What's going on? They say, listen, the vast majority of people that are coming to us are just living off of Social Security. They're coming to us 3-4 times a week for their rehab. They just can't continue to afford, $30, $40 what some of the other plans are in the area. And, that adds up over the week, over the months of having to do PT. Their elbow, their knee, whatever it may be, starts feeling better. So they stop going. Then a few years later, because they never truly recovered by finishing physical therapy, they have to go back for another surgery. So what we did is we reduced that cost share this year down to $20. So when you're going multiple times a week, at first, when you're comparing us to another plan, you may see a $10, $15, $20 difference there. And you're like, that's not massive. But when you're going multiple times a week, you're paying double than what you really have to. So this is a huge savings for members. The other thing I want to touch on with this is our urgent care and emergency care copays. So $90 for ER, $55 for urgent care. These are all inclusive copays. So that means when they go to that provider, it's not just the facility fee being covered under that. And then they have an x-ray copay. They have a DME copay if they have to get a brace or crutches while they're there, or, they have to get some other sort of procedure or test done while they're there, and they may have copays that go along with that. Everything is covered under that $55. There's no copay stacking where you're paying the highest amount of services received in just that. It's $55 if you go to the urgent care, $90 for emergency room. And then, of course, we have $75 over-the-counter benefit on this. So extremely rich plan this year. I invite you to go through the summary benefits and everything else as they are now out. But the main highlights of this plan, you got a low max out-of-pocket. The outpatient procedures are especially extremely low if you go to an ASC center. PTO, T, and ST for $20 copay, and then a $55 urgent care copay, knowing that's all you're going to have to pay if you go there. You're not going to have all these additional surprise costs that happen. So that's our 015. Extremely excited. This has been our number one plan for a couple of years now. I think it's going to be even bigger this year because of those additional benefits we've added in, like the dental we're going to talk about in just a little bit. All right. Moving along, we have our 019 plan. So this is our MA only. This is going to be, of course, people traditionally think with a Part B give back of $50 a month geared towards veterans, right? There's a few other people that are going to be looking at this plan. Those with Part D penalties, that they don't actually take any prescription drugs, they want to stop paying that penalty. They'll be wanting to move to a plan like this, especially getting some of that Part B cost share back to them. Few items to talk about on this. We're embedding in that $1,000 dental again. We have condition-specific meals, but also a huge thing this year, and especially for the veterans that do join. I mean, let's face it, camaraderie and being part of something is a big part of being in the military. And a lot of our veterans, especially with COVID this past year or two, really, gosh, I can't believe it's been that long, have started not being able to see as many people. They're starting to suffer from what they're calling social isolation, or as we all would normally say, loneliness. They're able to get 8 hours a month of companion care. That's not a quarter, that's not a year, that's 8 hours a month through Papa Care, where somebody can come out, help them with household chores around the house, play backgammon with them if that's what they want to do, just have fun with them. I did ask, we've had other people ask too, no, it won't take them to the bar or the casino. I don't think anybody's hugely shocked by that. But really, we did even get approval. They would go to a ball game with somebody or go fishing with them. It's just a huge way for these members who have been suffering by not being around other people for the last couple of years. This is a great way for them to start to break out of that and have some companion care with them. Of course, along with the dental and everything else in there, you're also going to notice $75 a month in quarterly OTC benefits. And they include that travel benefit. So if this member is going to Arizona, Florida, or Texas, and they don't want to wait to get into a VA in that area, they need some sort of routine preventative care, they can go to any Medicare doctor willing to bill HAP and receive those services for an in-network cost share. So $0 for PCP, $20 specialist copay in Arizona, Florida, or Texas. So another huge benefit that you're not seeing on a lot of the other MA-only plans out there. The other thing that I've started to notice while I was doing some analysis of other plans, I've seen some of these give back plans start to take away the fitness membership. Huge part of members staying healthy is being able to remain active. So we include our fitness membership in this as well. Obviously, we have some, I'm going to touch on this really quickly. We have HMO point of service plans. I'm not going to review them today. I don't suggest going with a point of service. There is a $1,000 max out of network benefit on the plan. You're going to get yourself in trouble by selling it, because if somebody does go out of network thinking it's like a PPO, they're going to incur more cost share than $1,000 and have these big bills come at them. Just stay away from the point of service plans. Focus in on those HMOs. If they're going to Arizona, Florida, or Texas, if they're really worried about out of network cost share in Michigan, or if they're worried about, you know, my kid lives in South Carolina or in Denver, and I go spend 6-8 months with them to go see my grandchildren, sell them the PPO. So for the PPO, our $0 plan is the 0111, or excuse me, the 011. This also includes the out-of-state benefit of in-network cost share at any Medicare provider willing to bill HAP. It is the one thing, obviously, they can't go up into the UP and get in-network services. That's going to be out of network here in Michigan. But as soon as they leave Michigan, they have that in-network cost share. This includes our vision, hearing, fitness, and OTC benefit, that $1,000 of embedded comprehensive dental, our mail order, preferred mail order, $0 copays, the Tier 6 vaccine copays. Running through here quickly, out-of-network services here in Michigan is a 30% cost share. But again, in network, we have that breakdown to go to an ASC center. So for a $0 PPO plan, still $145 for an outpatient procedure if they go to an ASC. That's huge. That's going to allow these members still that really wanted that protection of a PPO so they can travel out of the state and still see somebody when they're here in network, or if they have to go out of state to receive that service, $145. All right, and then we have the $55 urgent care copay, $90 ER copay, and again, $0 PPO plan with a $20 copay for PTO, T, and ST. Another huge saving for our members, and that $75 over the counter. I love this PPO plan. If the member does not want an HMO, you should be pointing them to this plan all day long. Really, really excited to have that, and it pairs nicely when you're sitting down with somebody and you want to offer an HMO or PPO. The 015 and the 011 are great opportunities depending on which way that member wants to go. All right. We do have another PPO plan with lower cost shares. It does come along with a $65 a month premium. I'll let you scan through there, but as you can see and would expect, inpatient hospital copays are lower. It has a $5,000 in-network max out-of-pocket, $7,000 combined, so in and out, max out-of-pocket. The PCP and specialist copays are there, still $20 PTO, T, and ST, and $75 a quarter in OTC. Candidly, I always show people this plan, but honestly, or agents this plan, but honestly, the cost you're going to pay for the premium, I don't see where it hugely benefits them instead of just going on the $0 a month cost share for the slightly higher copays. At the end of the day, the 011 is probably going to end up being cheaper for them. All right, if you're selling out in the West Michigan area, especially I'm talking about Kent, Muskegon, Ottawa, and Oceana, we do have a particular plan that uses the Athenia Network and Mercy Health. Obviously, Spectrum and the Kent County area is not our strongest for this plan, but we did notice in the last year a lot of members changing their doctor because they want the benefits that are on this plan. So if you're talking to somebody in that county, don't shy away from it. It's an opportunity and a talking point for the members. In Muskegon, I think there's like one Spectrum doc in Muskegon. The rest are in the Mercy Network. Phenomenal plan there. So to hit on that really quickly, $0 cost share has all the same benefits as our other plans that we've already talked about, including though on this one, the 8 hours a month of companion care. Hospitalization is $235 days 1 through 7. Outpatient procedure at a hospital is $210. If you go to an ASC, it's just $120. PCP zero, $30 specialist copay. Lab zero, PT, OT, and ST $0 cost share. So think about that. That's a plan in that area, especially with a $0 cost share for the PT, OT, and ST. Nobody else is going to be offering that. It's a huge opportunity for members. If they know something's coming up and they need that benefit, they know they may need PT, OT, and ST, or they just want that knowledge to know that if something came up, they are not going to have these huge cost shares to finish their physical therapy. Huge benefit for them as well. And then it does have our $75 a quarter OTC benefit. Just real quick on our senior savings model, we participate with that on all of our plans except for our DSNP. Examples for our insulins are Novolog, Novolin, Lantus, and Toujeo. This here is written based off of how the law is $35 copay through the initial and coverage gap. But what I'm going to let you know is actually on HAP's plan this year, it's $25 where we capped it. So we actually went less than what the law says for the senior savings model. So huge benefit for our members there. The reason it's not on the DSNP is because their LIS is going to apply anyways. The Tier 6 vaccines for $0 cost share, like I said, shingles, Hep A and B, measles, mumps, rubella, meningitis, the flu shot, pneumonia, all of that's going to be covered on there. Make sure they're getting that done at a pharmacy and not their actual provider's office. When they go to the provider office, that actually stops it from being a Part D coverage because their doctor's getting that big vaccine directly from the manufacturer as opposed to going through a pharmacy. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to spend a bunch of time on is our embedded dental benefits this year. This is where this is a huge opportunity. If you're working with dentists, if you know any, you want to bring this to them so they know that this is an opportunity for their members. Not counted towards the $1,000 a year. So before we start taking to that bucket, they get 2 oral exams, 2 dental prophylaxis cleanings. So that's the over-the-gum, your usual cleaning. They can also get 2 periodontal maintenance cleanings instead of the prophylaxis. So if they have gum disease, something else, they need that under the gum cleaning. Instead of the over the gum, they can choose to go with periodontal and have 2 of those a year. It comes with a brush biopsy, bite ring x-ray, and fluoride treatments. So what do fluoride treatments do? They make your teeth stronger. They help stop cavities, which means less posture later on in the year because they have to get a cavity filled. This does include 50% coverage for composite fillings, root canals, and crown repair. We love this plan, and then we took it to dentists, and they were like, hey, listen, this is great, but for them to utilize the full $1,000 benefit, they have to spend $1,000. If they're going to be getting crown repairs or root canals and everything else, those can get expensive, so it's really not helping our members. So what we ended up doing is going back to Delta Dental and putting together this BuyUp program. Before you ask, it's embedded into the actual plan itself. So in terms of how it's filed, so we cannot give commission on these. But this is an opportunity for your members to get the services they need without the cost share at the dentist office. So $18 a month for our Delta 50 will get them an additional $1,000 in coverage. The neat thing about this is that it coordinates with the embedded dental. So you can't see me right now, but I promise you I have 2 hands up. You basically have bucket A and bucket B. Bucket A is your embedded $1,000, bucket B is your BuyUp. So if the member goes to get a filling done for a cavity, and this isn't the cost share, but it's just easy math, say it costs $100 for that cavity to be filled. The first $50, so the 50% coverage is going to come from bucket A, your embedded dental benefit. If they have the BuyUp, the other 50% is going to come, or so that other $50 is going to come from your BuyUp. So that actually gives $0 cost share for the member. So if they're just going with those, if they get the Delta 50, the extra $1,000, they actually will get $2,000 worth of those minor restorative services. So your cavities, crown repair, and root canals at 100% coverage. So no cost share out of their pocket besides the $18 a month premium, or I think it's 60 cents a day if you like to break it down that granular for them. but it does also give coverage for some of the major stuff. So realigns to bridges and dentures, bridges, dentures, implants, oral surgeries, all at a 50% cost share. And then obviously that uses the PPO and Premier networks as well. If they want a higher level, they can get the Delta 70, which gives a better cost share on the periodontics and realigns, as well as the oral surgery at 70%. Utilizing the PPO and Premier networks as well. And then the Delta 100 only uses the PPO network. So that is a smaller network. You lose about 30 to 40% of the dentists in the area, but it is still an extremely robust. I think compared to some of the other dental networks in Michigan, it's going to be very comparable to those. And that gives you much higher cost shares on those as well. So really huge opportunity. Again, if you're working with dentists, if you're interested in having us present this to them as an opportunity for their members, reach out to myself, Jason or Dustin. We'd love to sit down with the dentist with you and explain how this can help out their members. Real quick touch on our vision. It's powered by iMed. Hearing is with Nations Hearing, and our OTC benefit is with Nations OTC. We really wanted to give our members the Amazon-like experience. So with Nations OTC this year, we were promised lower catalog prices for every item, 2-day shipping on everything they can order online through a mail-in order form or a call-in center to make their orders. There is no cap on how many orders they can do per quarter. If they wanted to do 7 $10 orders, they can do that in the quarter. There's no cap on that. And like I said, we do have a D-SNP plan in 4 of our counties: Macomb, Oakland, Wayne, and Genesee. Obviously, the $0 cost shares you'd expect to see on a D-SNP plan, $65 a quarter in OTC benefit. We do have a $500 flex card for food or home safety modifications through Nations OTC. That's going to work like a bridge card. So when they go to the grocery store, they can swipe that, and any qualifying food items are going to come off of that bill for them. It's not going to pay for alcohol, cigarettes, or a few other things, but it will cover the majority of the food on their thing, and that is $500 a year. Comes with our transportation, 24 one-way trips, and includes a $2,000 benefit through Delta Dental's PPO network that has 2 exams, 2 cleanings, 2 fluoride treatments, and then it does give some major services. So crowns, onlays, and dentures are covered at 70%. Root canals, bridges are covered at 100%. Implants not covered under this plan. They cannot get a BuyUp plan. That's just the only dental they can have on it, but extremely strong to get those types of cost shares. Because I promise you, I came from one of the other ones. You're going to see these huge dental coverages on D-SNP this year, but I beg of you to watch the copays that are going to come along with some of those services that come with them. I've been seeing them at 50%, and then really if they want to utilize that huge dental benefit, they got to kind of match that in funds. So to be able to get 100% coverage on the root canals and bridges at a $2,000 max benefit is huge. Also includes $200 vision allowance through iMed, obviously the 0 routine eye exam, and $1,000 in hearing aids. So a huge, huge benefit for the D-SNPs this year, and I'm super excited to be able to present that. VBE, so if you can set up a VBE through Ascend for the member after you do your enrollment, it is a $75 admin fee for you this year. I believe that's the highest in the market. It's important to us to make sure that we're talking to the members and getting all the information we need, pre-qualifying them for benefits like that companion care or something else they may need. Those questions will be asked through the VBE process, and make sure that we're pre-qualifying for them for those as well. So if you have any questions about that, how to get that done, give me a call, shoot me an email, and we'll be happy to talk you through that. And then we do have Medicare plans. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'll get this presentation to Christy. I know we're probably running low on time. But we do offer A, C, D, F, and G, and N plans. New for us this year, Plan G is guaranteed issue for loss of group coverage for 2022. We do give a household discount, $10 per member per month, as long as they live in the same household and are on the HAP Medigap plans. It includes a fitness membership, as well as BuyUp dental options this year. If they do the BuyUp dental, they get $175 vision allowance through iMed. So that's huge for them as well. Not only are they getting the fitness membership on the base Medigap plan, they get the BuyUp dental, they have their dental and a vision allowance there. That's just a quick example, very similar setup to how the MAPD works, obviously slightly higher premiums because it includes the vision benefit. An example of our rates, it says pending approval, these have now been approved. Let's see if my computer catches up with me. There we go. Compensation structure on these plans, $250 a year for DG and N, years 1 through 10, 1 through 3 at $150 a year for AC and F. We do have a bonus program. If you write 3 to 5 new HAP through this year. Did I get lost here?
Yeah, so while we're doing that, if anybody has any questions, please type them in the Q&A section or the chat feature, and we can address those before we close it up. But Kyle, if you had any other additional slides or if you needed to add something on top of the Medigap, which I know a lot of our agents are writing quite a bit of that. Whoops, we lost him again. No,
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
I'm having some
No problems.
minor Wi-Fi issues. I'll get the slides over to you. I really didn't have anything else. What I can share, since we can at least talk, is we have a bonus program for our Medigaps. So if they write 3 to 5 new HAP Medigaps in a quarter, it's 150 additional per app. 6 to 10 is 200 per app, or 11 or more is 250 per app. So on some, that could be a $500 on a Medigap plan payout if they're writing more than 11 in a quarter.
Right.
The only other slides I had was contact information. So I'll shoot this whole presentation over to you once I get Wi-Fi apparently working again, and make sure that you can share that information with everybody. But that is all I have today.
Perfect. So let me just see if we have anybody that has any questions. I'm not seeing any so far, so that means you did a really good job of presenting, Kyle. You were very thorough.
It's either that or I put them to sleep. It's one of the two.
But I will have the slides available to everyone. We're really looking forward to I do have one question. Here we go.
Sure.
Does this fulfill our webinar training? That's a good question. I can't answer that, but Kyle can.
Yeah. So we didn't go through all the plans today, but we hit all the important stuff. So we'll count this as your webinar training, as long as Christy gets me the list of everybody that was on today.
Yes, I will. Yay! I'm sure those folks who haven't completed that will be very thrilled. So awesome. And let's see, I've got another question here, and just everybody thanking you. And so that's great. Well, with that being said, it is Friday, and we are off to the races. Today is October 1st, and so we've got a few more weeks before we can actually get out there and market, but you can start talking to your clients now. Let us know if you need anything. Stop in the office if you're local, or call me, and I'm happy to meet you if you need supplies. You know, you don't have to make the trek into Novi. I can meet you halfway. But let's get out there. Let's sell a lot of HAP, and let's see what we can do to help some folks.
Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, all. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.